Holy shit.
I'm the moon now.
Previously on Basement Discourse. The gang gets super dark and super serious talking about serious stuff like violence in video games.
That voice
That
is
was
fucking brilliant.
Right?
Pitch shifter.
Voice for radio. Welcome, basement dwellers, to another episode of Basement Discourse with your boy, myself, Justin.
Yes.
Yep, nailed
I was
it.
really holding out for who your boy was right there.
Yeah, I was like, wait a
Yeah.
minute. If I pick
Edge
one
of
of
my
y'all,
seat.
if I pick one of you guys, the other one's just gonna be like, oh, just like, and like
Yeah,
it's obviously
exactly.
gonna be Jace. Then Brady's gonna be like,
Yeah, exactly. That checks out.
We've
What
also
do you
got Brady.
mean? What do you mean, obviously. The fuck?
Justin and I go way
Yes.
back.
Yeah, bro. Like we were like what, 6?
Yeah, I think I met
Probably.
you in year 1.
Damn, that's deep.
Yep.
We
That's deep.
homies.
Going from dark to deep. We also got Jace, video game guy. We've got Brady over there, the anime guy, and myself, that D&D person as well. So welcome to the show. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Discord. We have a Discord. You probably can't find us unless you really look for that because, well,
Or you
we
could
really
click the
use it.
links that Brady's definitely putting in.
Yeah.
The
Boop, my balls.
Animate that.
What else we got? We've got the podcast via my headset just fell out of my thing. Hold on.
Yeah, you sound super fucked.
Oh, that's better.
Imagine
gonna start
plugging
again.
in your headset. No,
I'm just gonna
keep
start the
going.
fuck again.
No. We got Apple and Spotify and Facebook is the only one you missed. We're good. Keep going.
I knocked the headset out and it just jacked me. Like I could not hear myself, and that ain't
Jacked
cool.
him.
Jacked him. Something new and different for Justin, I'm sure.
I know, right? Yeah. So, cool.
Someone else jacking him for once.
Oh, Jesus. Why are my intros always so fucked?
It's just
At least you
do 'em,
tried
man.
this time. Last time you tried to remember one, you were like, we have...
Oh, dude, I had them all this time. I was like, I got this. And then my mic, yeah. I'm gonna blame
Imagine
it on
like
technical
having wired
shit.
headphones like an idiot.
Wow.
Like an
I'm
idiot.
sorry, guys. I'm just so sorry. I mean,
With all our ad revenue,
right? You'd think some of that money would come my way, but like, I
you should
still
have brain
haven't
implants
seen
by
it.
this point.
I got a
At least
mug.
that like audio like
Nice.
automatic dubbing from Sam Smug. That
Right?
Surely for voice acting alone, you should have been paid enough to get wireless headphones.
Problem is, like, they were ahead of their game. So, like, they've already gone broke. Like, they were just too far into the future. You know what I mean? Like, we can say
they
that
kept
now
putting it
because
in
the company
CRT
doesn't
TVs.
exist.
So, guys, just a quick note, because I edit the shows and I listen to them as I do that, and then I publish them. The last episode I did, we did mention shorts and how you thought shorts were out already because you didn't understand what shorts were, and then we did actually
are
manage
out.
to get them out.
See?
We did actually manage to get them out.
I'm just the
But
guy
what
that
we
makes shit
didn't
happen,
manage
right?
to do was get Dungeons and Discourse out, but it is out now. All of our listeners at this point in 3 weeks in the future, there you guys go. You now know how far we record.
Yeah, good one. Throw away
Wow.
the
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
trade secrets.
They've all watched
Breaking the fourth wall.
the first 2 episodes, I think, because it's in 2 weeks, and then this one will air on the 3rd week.
Don't
So-
fucking bring
me.
math into this.
I do
No,
enough
they've heard the
maths in
first 2
D&D. I don't need it
episodes.
in this shit.
I
Wait,
make
they've heard
Justin
this
do
shit.
enough maths in D&D.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. Stop.
Right,
And-
our listeners
and
have
Brady-
heard episode 1 and 2 because we agreed to release them on the same week. You've all
Right.
definitely watched them.
Of course. That's expected.
That's fucking great, right?
I'd like
Yeah.
to point
Now,
out that
obviously, the reception's been amazing. Let's
Of
celebrate.
course. Yes. I wish I had a party popper right now. Yeah, look, I think the first 2 eps were really good. I love the intro because now we can actively talk about it a little bit without doing too many spoilers.
Yeah, so like, I'll put the chapters in so you can skip past just in case we put a spoiler in. But we hope you all enjoyed the first 2 episodes of Dungeon and Discourse. Now, Justin, go for your spoilers.
All right. So, first episode, you're probably going to work it out pretty early on that they're playing as kids. So they're just a bunch of kids and they're doing something that's already happened in the past. And we're going to revisit that as the campaign goes on. And we'll see where that leads. I'm not going to spoil anything that's in the future. So I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be good. And these guys have already like thrown a few spanners in the works with the attacking the little guy and such. So yeah, that was that was interesting.
These guys is correct. There's our lovely extra who comes on, Zach, who was on one of our previous episodes. He's just like politely standing back eating, and Jace and I are like interrogating this poor creature that looks like
throwing
Dobby
a
the
stick
house
at him and
elf.
shit.
And actually, to be quite frank, Brady, you don't interrogate him until later. So you've just spoiled
That's right. Yep.
a later episode.
Wow. So now, when they assume you're about to murder him, wow.
Whatever.
They assume you're going to
Moving
murder
on.
him, and now they know that you don't murder
Yeah.
him in cold blood. Okay. And then the second episode is, of course, in real time IRL world. And yeah, that's where it all gets pretty fun for the intro and such. So yeah, I think
It's really
it's
cool.
been a fun little intro. And I think the roles that we did were really, really well done. Very lucky. So
Yeah.
definitely chuck some flavor
You
into the
can't write
mix.
for that.
Nah. I
Like-
had some ideas like, for flavor written down, like, oh, if they roll really bad, maybe this will happen. But it was good that it just all flowed really well. So it was good fun.
Let's go.
Only Brady's the one rolling really bad.
I got
But
one good one, and it's where
Yeah.
it's where it fully matters, and it was so good. But
Yeah,
like apart from
hardcore
that,
moment.
I'm not even mad that the others didn't work out, because like it just works with the flow of it.
To be honest, it's always fun when things don't work out because it's just
Yeah.
like, oh shit. Okay.
And hopefully everyone's enjoying our shorts and our trailers. Like Jace's trailer with the like epic movie style sweep over the mountains. It was
Yeah.
That was
so cool.
sick. Yeah. And
I'm a man of
Brady's
cinema.
take was really good too. So like
Yeah.
totally our styles, you know what I mean? Like it's been well done.
Yeah,
so.
and by now yours will be out, Justin, because you
True that.
mentioned you have an idea about it today. So
Yeah, I've been
hopefully
burning
let's
up an
fuck it
idea,
out.
so it should be some fun to film in the next few days. So you guys have already seen it. So I'm talking in past and present mixed together. Anyway, what have you guys been up to this week?
So I'd like
actually-
to ask Brady about something.
Oh,
Tell
yeah,
me
go
more
for it.
about this ladder.
Oh yeah, the ladder. Yeah, that should definitely
So-
be the start of the show. Damn it! I was going to
sake.
bring my ladder into the shot and just have it in a sneaky corner.
It's not even. All right.
So now you have to
context-
show the ladder for
No
context.
Context for our listeners: we have a group chat which goes on far more than I do with like any other friends. Like, it's so good.
Dude,
'cause
I
we
talk to you guys
all
way
day.
more than like my wife and family mixed together.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. Like my partner's like, "Who are you messaging?" And I'm like, "Just the fucking idiot boys." The double J's.
That's clearly just Justin that he's messaging at that point.
It's the it's
Yes,
the double
me and my
J's.
bowels, because he said
It's both of you.
plural.
Justin, if you were super internet, you would have said, "Yeah, D's nuts."
Ah, dang.
You
Missed
ruined
the
it.
opportunity there.
No,
My bad.
but we have a group chat, and we were all talking about what we're doing with our weekend. And I was working painting, and I sent them a photo, and these guys focused on the fact that the
Fucking, like-
focal point.
Primarily a ladder
Yeah,
with a little bit of a wall.
yeah. So,
So, like,
in the
cool ladder,
wall,
bro.
but I mean, this is most of painting in the painting world. Like in the modern era, everyone just wants like a deviation of white. So I was taking one version of white to another version. So it was a little tricky to see. I'll give you guys that. And yes,
Oh, there
the
were
ladder
two
was
different
in the
colors
center.
there. I did not see any contrast
No,
of
I
lights
ju-
there. I saw
I
a
just
ladder,
saw a ladder.
and a fucking kitchen and a wall that was all white, like one white.
I'm
I
glad
did
that
not
this is
see
how we're
anything.
starting the show.
So well done on your work there. It was definitely like
But it
worth
actually,
your time.
like, you know what? It segues us into something we have talked about in that group chat anyway. And because
Wasting
I sent you guys a
time.
ladder, no, it's not wasting time. It's that we are all
Running out of time because we're old as fuck.
Or busy
Yeah.
mowing the lawn for
Wait,
the 30th
yeah,
time.
yeah.
Bro.
So Justin sends me a message
Lawn's
being
got
like,
to be
Brady,
mowed.
how many times have you mowed your lawn? Because I've done mine 6 times, and I'm like, what the fuck? I looked at mine when you said that, and I was like, "Oh shit, it needs to be mowed."
We've had like monsoonal weather, so any opportunity for me to mow my lawn, I'm out there. Like get the rain jacket on. I'm like, all right, let's do this.
You're a fucking loser. Oh my God.
Not a chance. No way.
My lawn is beautiful. I love it.
Oh.
Nah, my lawn's trash,
man.
and I live for it.
Yeah, mine's completely fucked. Like, it's nowhere near what it was when you came out and gave me a hand with it, Justin. And we mentioned that in an episode, so everyone's
Good
aware
Lord.
of it.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near that level, but it's not good either. Like, the dog's not lost, but I'm still like, oh, I don't want to go out there in pants because the bottom of my pants will get wet.
Jesus. That's chaos.
So
Absolute chaos.
I'm just at the tips of my shoes get wet sort of stage, you know, but you end up with soggy socks. So
both of y'all have had like grass, like where the tip of your dick will get wet at some point or another. Like,
yeah, but that only has to be at my ankles.
Oh, here we fucking go.
That is some belly button length grass
Jesus.
for you. Like
that's some high school fucking joke shit. Like, oh, I'm pretty itchy
that's
down
the
there.
idea.
So I live
the
for it.
Fucking kids in high school that are like scratching their knee. I'm like, you know what? That just seems inconvenient.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Anyway, but like, what you're actually segueing to, the segue that you got lost inside of.
I did a good fucking segue.
It was great until we just got like way segued, like way lost.
Yeah, I have no idea what you were trying to do.
Like a fucking segwayception.
No,
you just started going further into the rabbit hole.
It worked, and you guys were too.
It was all right, but
I
guarantee no one knows what the fuck you were segueing to.
I don't know what the fuck we're talking about anymore.
We're talking about free time. We're talking about how much time you have in your working week, in your week entirely. So how much free time do you guys have to put towards doing something outside of work or the scope of just regular life, like taking a shit and having a shower? Like what other time?
No, I don't shower. Fuck that.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. That's a time saving. You know what? We should bring out some tips. Time-saving tips, guys.
I can almost smell you through Zoom.
Underwear. You can flip that shit at least 3 times before you have to.
But see, you can go one better.
Just don't wear any.
Flawless.
And if you work from home,
don't wear
why
pants.
even wear pants?
Not wearing pants right now.
I'm glad we're in the right mindset here. I'm glad we're also all wearing no pants.
Oh no pants. That's a rule of Basement Discourse.
Yeah,
so like the reason why I wanted to bring this up as like the topic for tonight, like the whole free time topic and all the rest of it, was because exactly 7 days ago from today, I bought Dying Light 2, and this was on almost its release. So I was pretty excited. I was like keen. Love the first one. It's a cool game. Free running, zombies, Dead Island sort of a vibe, but you know, all the rest of it. Yeah, they sold the shit out of it. It was great. But I started playing it, and I put 6 hours into the game total, and I took it back within the 7-day return for EB Games so I could swap it around for something else. And I started to think about why I did that. And I think it's truly because my free time now is way less than what I used to have as a kid, which is very obvious. But then there's also the flooded market of options out there for video games too. So I straight up swapped it for Elden Ring, which we've all been talking about in a few episodes now of the podcast and stuff like that. So I just started to question, you know, why? Why did I not give this game enough time? I'm sure, like, I've heard some good things about Dying Light 2. Don't get me wrong, it probably is a fun game. And I think if I gave it some more time, I probably would have enjoyed it. So why did I ditch it? And I think it comes down to like how much time you have in life. And I just didn't have enough to really want to bother with that game. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
So I see where you're going with it.
Yeah.
And like, I definitely do struggle with time, and like I've got so many games on my plate at the moment, and I'm like, oh, I want to play this, but I also want to play this and that. And like, a good example is I've got Jedi Fallen Order, which I've been playing a fair bit of. But then I also recently bought Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster, which I've been hammering.
I've seen you and Kendall having like heaps of talks about it over socials.
It's fucking amazing. It's so good. But like, so one of the things that actually comes back to this, and it ties in so well with your thoughts about free time, is I feel like I've been playing the shit out of that game. Like I haven't played it today, but I played it all weekend, or so it felt. And every time I get a new achievement in the game, 9 times out of 10, it will say 100% of players have this achievement. So literally everyone who has played the game is further along than I am.
Yeah, right.
And I bought it on release day. So like,
damn.
It makes me that right there though, like this isn't the exact subject of what we're doing, but like is why I don't do online games. Because like
it's hard to stay ahead of the pack, right? Yeah.
I know as someone who doesn't have the time, I will always be far behind. Like it's just
so this happened in like a game called The Division. I don't know if you guys played those games.
I played the shit out of the first one.
Yeah, dude. 1 was sick. Like 2 was pretty good, but like 1 was just awesome for its time and its place, like in the world. But they had that PvP area right in the center of the map where you could go in.
What the fuck was that called?
It was like the red zone or something like that. And you went in there and you basically just killed shit. Whatever you got, you had to extract it from that area.
You had to call in the heli and hope that no one.
Fuck, that was stressful, man. So stressful. But like what I realized like almost immediately was after like 2 weeks of a hiatus of, oh, I'm busy at work, I'm going to get this shit done, I'm going to focus on my work, come back, I run into the PvP, I'm like, hey, boom, and I'm dead. Boom, and I'm dead. And I'm like, fuck, they've worked this game out and now I am absolutely screwed. And that was it. Like that was the end of it for me. I stopped playing Division, and it was literally a 2-week break from a game that I was all the way leveled up with a crew, all chilling. 2 weeks later, fucked.
It feels like that with, I mean, like even with, it's not a MMO, but I've been playing Arceus, and like I got it the day after release. And then I've been playing it, but every time I open YouTube or Twitch or even like Facebook, it's like end game stuff. Yeah. I'm like, God damn. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But I've had the same experience with like, MMOs where I've like bought them on release and then, oh, fuck, I'm busy. And then jumped on after being busy for what seems like not much time for me. And and that's just gaming.
Progressed. Yeah,
like
I mean that's online versus your single player stuff, but even your single player stuff these days. And I think this comes down to both like our age, being in our 30s, having not as much free time as we used to, but also just how flooded the market is with options. So not
you
just
say
like
flooded though. I want to ask Jace about this because I can see in Movie's face like.
Okay, do you all remember the days of Sega, like the days of Sega or Nintendo or like early Sony?
I remember walking into a game store though, and there was lots of options that never made it to like a website or anything like that. But there was a lot of games on the fucking shelf.
So
I don't feel like the game titles have become more. I actually feel like they've become less, but they're more popularized. But I'll let the game expert. I can see him like,
he's like, just shut the fuck up.
But no. I think I gave him the segue, so I'll give it to him.
You just took a week and a half to set that up. But no, so there are a few things. Firstly, there have always been shit tons of like video game titles, even heading way back into the 80s. It's about platforms, right? So if you look at things like the Amiga, the Commodore, like a lot of, especially in like the home computer gaming market, a lot of that, there were tons more titles because anyone could make for it, right?
Yeah.
So the issue became that once the console market, so Atari 2600 and shit like that, once that became commonplace, you had to like get approval with that developer to get titles that would then go like work for their hardware and things like that. So it wasn't as straightforward of a process once it became a console market. But now we're reaching a point where Xbox, what did they actually call it? It was like the indie showcase, and then it became like Xbox Arcade and shit like that.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And then platforms like Steam for PC. But PC has always had a huge market of games.
Yeah.
I remember
options.
like as a kid downloading heaps of like freeware and shareware games and stuff. There was tons of that sort of stuff. But talking about like from a standard consumer perspective, the view is that it's more flooded. But I think the real thing is that it's giving more people more choice. Because like, I remember that you roughly glossed over this in our DMs, Justin, and you mentioned it being a lot like TV, right?
Yeah.
If someone said to you, go sit down and watch Channel 10 right now, you just stab them in the eye with a fork because...
Dude, I don't even have an aerial attached to my TV.
I have not watched free-to-air TV
I haven't
in
watched
20
free-to-air
years.
TV.
Yeah.
Like...
Wait, what? No.
Dead set. Since the moment I moved out of home, I didn't even own a TV till I moved into this house.
Damn, son.
Like, I don't... And remember, I build media servers for a laugh. Like, I don't need that stuff.
Yeah.
So that stuff doesn't appeal to me, and I don't like being told what I should be consuming.
At what time with ads.
And exactly. And so think of the gaming market like that. So in the 80s and early 90s, everyone perceived that gaming was for children. And so the market was all designed for that. Then there were outliers. And then as companies have realized that the market has grown and that it's not just
basically
white male
the games
children.
that were made for the children never grew up after that.
Yeah. So
They're all just gamers still.
well, that's it. But like, so the market has expanded, and now instead of catering for, children ages fucking 5 to 10, they're now trying to target everyone, and everyone's fucking different. And so there's just more and more options out there.
Yeah.
And like, I think this also comes in good to talk about something like Elden Ring, right?
Yeah.
Brilliant game, has a huge following already. Like on its day of release, there were 900,000 people watching it on Twitch.
Damn. That's nuts.
Like, that is a lot of people watching a video game.
Yeah.
Guys, why did we not... Why didn't we do a Basement Discourse group share stream?
Mostly because
I don't... Because of what we're talking about, not having the time.
Well, like, I could have, but I didn't. I am set up to stream at any point in time.
I was trying to make a point.
It was a terrible point.
With
Get
zero
out.
time.
As am I. I'm set up to stream.
Oh, well, fuck you then. Why weren't you streaming? Oh, wait. You
Zero
can't
time.
play games.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because you only had PlayStation and they don't have anything.
And a Mac. Wow.
I was waiting. I was waiting for Jace's Smash on my Mac.
But like, so going back to Elden Ring, right? So it's a great game for what it is, blah, blah, blah. People love it. I really don't think it's my thing, and that's why I haven't bought it yet, because Souls games are just, I don't vibe with them. Like, they're insanely difficult, and I find that more infuriating than fun.
Yeah.
But I'm not the demographic.
Well, that's it.
I'm a guy who likes
Doesn't
a really
make it
cool
a bad game.
storyline.
It just means it's not aimed at you, right?
Exactly. And that's what I've been coming to terms with of late, is that there are good games, there are bad games, and there are games that just aren't for me. And the more I come to terms with that, the more I'm not fixated on trying to go through my like game library and play through a game because, Charlie 0905 on Twitter said that the game was amazing. So like I'm not compelled to play it just because someone else thinks that it's a great game. If I
Yeah.
don't vibe with it, fuck it, it's gone.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I think maybe that's a coming of age thing too for us. Like, we're just at an age now where we know what we want. Whereas when we're kids, we're like, I don't fucking know what I want. I'm just going to play this because it's right in front of me. And then I just pick up the next thing and play it to completion.
Actually,
you know?
I think that comes back to what you were saying. When we were younger, yes, there were still quite a lot of choices, but there were less choices, I feel like, because you were restricted by a few things. So,
and we
you're
probably
saying,
also listen to opinions more than what we do now.
Yeah, I think we listen to opinions more now, but they're not opinions close to us.
No, I definitely
don't
would have
listen-
taken like the opinions of like ratings and stuff more like back then, because it was like the Xbox magazine and things like that were saying like, hey,
okay,
this
yeah,
game
I
is
didn't
great.
have-
You should check this out. Or, you know, like some blog or whatever
That's
it
how far
was.
back
like-
we go, right? Like, I'm talking like
Yeah.
PS1, like
So I
or
was-
PS2 even. Like,
I was reading reviews for games like back in the early 90s.
Yeah, I was doing the same.
Yeah.
I don't even remember what platform
Oh,
or
that's
how
right.
I was
You
doing
two are
it.
older
but-
than me.
Correct. Yes,
yeah,
I
we're
am.
still taller than
And
you, though.
I also,
so-
yeah. Imagine
I'm
being
taller than
short.
Jace. We
No.
worked this out.
No, because
No,
I've got the taller forehead.
Yeah, he's got a forehead on you, bro.
No, we worked out I have hair taller.
Yeah, no, but that doesn't count, man. 'Cause,
Yeah, like Jace could
if
just
we're
spike
going
his
that
fucking
route-
beard.
Wait, this way. Mm.
It'd take me 2 weeks to be longer than that.
Imagine having hair.
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually thought about shaving all my hair off the other day, but then I chose not to because then I'd look like an idiot.
You'd look way too much like you were just trying to be like a version of me that wasn't
That's
as
just
cool.
way sexier. Yeah,
It wasn't
I
as
get
cool.
That
that.
had better face color. In that
Teal
he
is
has
a good
colour
face
on his
colour.
face.
Look at this face. Come on now.
Yeah, but
But
I had
no,
to
I
get
think-
mine
I
put
think-
there artificially.
Times to get to anything, like that's a big deal though, right? So like
Hmm.
Justin, give us your schedule for D&D, because like that's what you're known on by our show. What's your D&D weekly look like?
What do you mean, like when I play D&D or
At the
preparation
moment,
for next sessions and things?
Like
and...
no, it's just like so obviously like Jace is our gamer, I'm our anime, and you're our D&D. So like, how much D&D do you do in a week in any given scale? So from your best to your worst compared to your average.
When I was
guess.
in deep, I would be doing 2 sessions of D&D in a week at its best. And they were like 6-hour sessions, so they were pretty decent, pretty hefty. two nights in a week. At the moment, I'm doing Basement Discourse, but I'm also doing Star Wars D&D, like Star Wars RPG, once a fortnight, and that's it. So I was doing alternating weeks of like D&D.
But I mean,
Star Wars, D&D,
that's been
Star
a bit
Wars.
pandemic influenced. I remember when we started this, you were talking about like all the different things you had going on.
Yeah.
So what's been your busiest?
Busiest was still only about 2 a week, like 2 sessions of 6 hours each. But that's the play time, and then there's the prep time. So there's the minis and the terrain and the story writing and the painting of the minis and more terrain and more story writing. So for every hour of gameplay, I usually write for at least an hour as well. So, you know, there might
Like
be
24
6
hours in a week.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess 24 hours in a week, you could say would be roughly how much I'd commit to D&D at its best.
Yeah.
And then
That
I'd work
probably
for 5
equates
days.
roughly to what I would do as far as gaming goes.
Yeah, and in fairness, like with anime and manga, like I mean, there's a difference, right? Because like you actually brought it up there, Justin. There's a difference between engaging in the material and participating in the material.
Yeah,
And
I
that's kind of the
suppose,
same
yeah.
with gaming, right? Like there's difference with gaming of looking at reviews or looking up trailers and playing a game.
Yeah, I definitely don't look up reviews or trailers or anything.
I mean, we
I've
do
been
because
bu-
we've looked
like-
up like the wrestling. We talked
Yeah,
about
okay,
wrestling.
so-
we talked about
definitely
Elden
do.
Ring, like so he's
Okay,
straight up
so
a fucking
I am-
liar.
No, what I guess my thing is I don't really give a
Jace's
shit about
Pinocchio
reviews.
nose.
Oh yeah,
is
yeah.
knocking
Knocks his
over his
fucking
camera.
mic out.
Wait, here. We'll go it this way. Ow. Oh, that really hurts to twist. Anyway, back to the discussion. So typically when it comes to reviews, I tend to ignore the living shit out of them.
Yeah.
Unless I'm really on the fence about what they are talking
Like, to be honest, if you threw a bunch of money at me, I'd probably review the shit out of something. Like, everyone's got a price, right? So, like, reviews are very,
if
one-sided.
basement dwellers are wondering why our sponsorships are the way they are, it's because we're not letting Justin do that.
What, sell out?
Speaking of, here's a word from our sponsors.
That was a terrible segue.
From the team that brought you the genre massively murdering online role-playing game, we bring you Call of Ghandi. With advanced visuals, a whole new cover system, and the most realistic peaceful protest simulation you will see. IGN rated it 12 out of 10 before they got their review sample. Buy your copy today.
All right, welcome back. Thank you so much for all of that money from our sponsors. It went so far.
Yep.
So far.
What I just played again there, Justin? Fucking got him.
You know
Don't
what's,
know,
you know
don't
what's gonna
care.
be weird? The day that we magically get someone who's like, wait, this is a good idea. We're gonna pay you to do this. But we will have made the episode before that. So we make this stupid ass joke about not being,
Paid.
sponsored, but sponsored, and then
No, I've got an idea. We just do the Simpsons thing, like when they did the Super Bowl episode, and they're like, Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah.
We'll just cover our mouths and then dub it over afterwards.
Fantastic. Thank you so
Perfect.
much, Atlanta Falcons, for your sponsorship.
See,
Yeah.
it works. It's flawless.
Definitely works. Yeah. Yeah. So thanks, sponsors, for all
Yep.
your hard-earned money going towards us and such. Anyway, back to the topic on hand.
So we're talking about the market, our free time, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I did want to sort of take this back, and we looked at some stats while Brady was having a cheeky wank. And
what? Wait, what? What?
you don't have pants on. You
Sounds like
left
a
the
boy
room.
who's just been caught. Wait.
Yeah, no, that's a
I'm
lot.
just rubbing it. I'm just rubbing it. What?
I just kept shaking it after I peed. It's okay. So talking about being a flooded market. So I'd like to sort of exclude PC as much as I can, because all computing platforms have been so easy to get into as far as game development. Like, that is literally how a lot of early games were developed. Someone just thought, oh, well, like, I can code, so I'll just make a game.
Yeah.
Let's exclude that. Let's look at consoles, right?
Yeah.
And so you mentioned that, there's so many options out there. So looking at a dead platform, it's hard to figure out where my camera is. Okay. And so look at PlayStation 3, right? I found a comprehensive list of games that came out on it. 2,543 was the number that I get from Wikipedia. That's a fair few games, right?
That's a few.
PlayStation 1 had 7,918.
Damn, son. That's
So-
ridiculous. You sure? Seems like a
Yeah.
lot.
No,
Look it up.
see,
It's on
to me,
Wikipedia.
that sounds about right, though. Like, I remember going into...
There were some fucking
It
obscure
wasn't even
games.
EB. I'm not even sure if EB was around when I first started, like, going into a store. I couldn't fucking buy anything, but I went into the store because it was fun.
Electronics Boutique, it would have been called back then.
Yeah. Yep.
I remember when Pokemon took over, and that was fucking wild. But I remember going into the store, and there was just, like, a whole shelf of all these games just for PlayStation, because they didn't really cater to anything else at the time. And, like, there was so many. Like, I was saying to you guys, like, I remember playing so many strange random games that just don't exist today. And then some have had a resurgence in recent years, but, like, what was that? Oh, Oh, do you remember that one? He's in a knight's costume, but then he has a
Medieval.
skull. Medieval. I remember playing the first Medieval.
Same. I love
Such
that
a good game.
It was a good game.
Such a good game.
Yeah.
That's had a resurgence recently.
Yeah, I think was it a
They did a remaster
reboot
of some
or
sort.
remaster
Yeah.
or something.
It was
Yeah.
somewhat remaster. It was definitely improved. It was fun.
And then there's like
Bit of nostalgia.
Abe's Odyssey that's had like constant redoing over the years.
Not really.
Yeah,
But then-
Only
not the best
remake was
ones.
new and tasty.
Yeah.
No, there was,
I'm-
yeah, but there was like the Xbox game Munch's
Odyssey, yeah, but before that, the last game was in 1999, which was Abe's Exodus.
Yeah.
Really?
Exodus was cool.
Correct. Yes, I'm a big
Shit.
Oddworld nerd.
Yes, I remember
Oddworld's
that.
great
I remember
though.
that from back in the day.
But I remember other like super indie games that like never saw the light of day for a magazine or anything like that. So
Do y'all ever
doesn't
play
su-
like Army Men, like those games? Those
Yeah,
games were
yeah, I
sick.
did.
Yeah,
Well,
I used to
actually,
fucking love
I
those
think
games.
I only ever played the demos that I used to get in.
True.
Like,
Yeah,
Game
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
demos.
yeah. Demo
back in the
discs.
day.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
my god.
SmackDown versus Raw, you could only play as like Stone Cold and The Undertaker, but I played the shit out of that.
So
Because who
You
could
guys ever
afford
played a
games?
game called there was a sequel, but there was Pandemonium?
The name is
No.
familiar, but I don't.
Yeah, you could play as either like this girl or this jester. And the jester could
I
throw
actually,
like fireballs like Mario, but the girl could double jump.
there's.
It was like a side scroller almost, but it was 3D.
I remember seeing a video recently by a YouTuber, Larry Bundy. He does heaps of stuff about retro gaming.
Dude sounds like he's like 2 seconds away from being a serial killer.
Yeah. That, I'm probably
That's because
not
you're
about
thinking of
that.
Ted Bundy.
I know. It's just like, no.
But no, his channel's amazing. He covers heaps of retro stuff. But yeah, he actually spoke about that game. There is a sequel to it as well.
Two.
That's why I remember. And there's a whole bunch of weird history behind it.
So, like, the point you're saying is, yes, it's a flooded market now, but yes, it's also a flooded market back in the day too. So that's not a good
it's
enough
just- I think
argument
we're
as far as
more-
that's concerned.
It's not necessarily a flooded market. It's always been a flooded market.
But
I think the
that
point
that
is
said,
now
though,
that-
that said, we now have access to the back catalog of everything we've just talked about. So not only do we now have our newest console, but we still have the older consoles that we can, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, that's if you've still got them. Like, not everyone has them, and not everyone
Yeah.
wants to set up emulation or whatever. And then, like, how many games actually get re-releases and shit like that?
lot.
Like,
I
okay,
feel
that's-
like a lot.
that's-
I would like, these days, yes, it does seem to be climbing. I think,
they're running out of damn ideas because they flooded the market.
You and your damn flooded market.
yeah, you're a real big fan of that phrase.
No, I don't know, man. Like, I think we just got a lot of options out there. So, like, you know, like the Dying Light 2 option that I had on the table, I just went, you know what? I have other options and I'm not going to waste my time on it. So, I'm not
I
going
think-
to do
did
that.
that with
I
a
think-
game though. So I want to disagree with you, but I did that with a game. Like I smashed it and then was like, nah. Oh no, I remember what it was. Did you guys hear or see the Avengers console game?
Yeah,
Oh,
I did.
yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was super set up to be a PC game, but for some reason was released on consoles.
It's
As far
also
as I
on
could
PC.
tell, every part about it as I was playing it on PlayStation felt like a console game. And it
in a
didn't,
PC game.
PC game. Yeah.
yeah, like a PC game. But it didn't behave properly. Like everything I was doing, and then like loading screens, and it was like invite friends, like everything felt really bizarrely not PlayStation solo player.
Welcome
don't have
to
friends when you
every
play
fucking
PlayStation.
PC game ever. Like, do you know how many games we get lumped with where, like,
The ports are so bad that they don't even change the button
Yeah.
configuration.
like
I've
there are
seen
so
that.
many, games that I've played where it's like, you go into the game and
Press
it's
right
still
button.
got like, press circle. Or
Yeah.
something, you know.
And you're like,
Like-
cool, I'll just press circle on my fucking keyboard, you
Yeah.
dicks.
I'm
even
pressing
change
O.
that.
What the fuck? But yeah, so like there are so many games that are like that come out on PC. So seeing the reverse happen to console, all I can say is suck shit.
That's fair.
But
So apart from limited time on games, like, and just games in general, what about like just limited time to get to our things in general? Because like things move quick, right? So we talked briefly, I think, a little bit about D&D deciding to get rid of alignments. And we've
like I'm nowhere near up to date with like all of the release things and
exactly
all the content and all the rest of it. And that's my thing. Like I love D&D. I live for D&D.
Well,
like,
clearly not enough.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm dropping the ball. So like I started buying the books and I very quickly realized there was no way I was going to keep up with actually buying them and actually reading them and like absorbing the information. Like, so I've read
but that's fair.
the originals back to back, like up there, like the player's handbook I've read from start to end, the DM guide I've read from start to end, Monsters Manual even I've read all the way through. But then there are so many source books that come out. Like there's just no way. Like I couldn't even name them all now. That's how quickly they're coming out. Like, how do you keep up? Like, there's no way.
I feel the same with anime. Like, so anime is 4 seasons a year, and each season has roughly 20 shows in it, and then you like eliminate the ones that are like not for you, and you're still left with a buttload. Like, and most of them are isekai, but like, it's rough. Like, I've been trying to catch up on things, like, so the ones I'm going to watch, because obviously they're popular for a reason, some of them, like Attack on Titan, so I've been up to date on that. I think after this is, well and truly after this is airs, Demon Slayer finished season 2, and that was amazing, and I'm not going to give a spoiler review on that. I'll let people watch it, but they did a great job. Yeah, for sure. We'll do it in future episodes, but there are other shows, like, and I just feel behind the 8 ball because I don't have 10,000 hours a week, and I'm just trying to watch my weekly release to be up to date.
Whole episode is us complaining about us getting old.
Well,
no,
like,
but also I feel like a lot of it for me is not wanting to be spoiled. Like, so and people are like, oh, just avoid socials, and I'm like, oh no, I can't do that because I run, you know, Basement Discourse and like some other things, so I can't just avoid socials. And also I wish people had a bit more of a rule. Like I feel like we're pretty respectful of people's bounds. Like, we've spoiled a few things, but we always give a warning.
Yeah.
And
Bruce Willis is dead at the end of Sixth Sense.
Yeah. And like, I'll never forget the time that this guy ruined Fight Club for someone. That's just fucked.
I did that at I was like, what, 10?
Wait, did we talk about...
Never
hang
forget.
on, I could have forgotten. Did we talk about... Did that come up because we spoke about how there's a new ending for it?
First rule of Fight Club, you don't talk about Fight Club.
No, there's a new rule. So it got a release...
Oh, yeah, we were talking about it in a
We've
previous
already
episode.
talked about it. Jesus.
We have done it. We have done it.
Yeah, we have.
Like,
the man who edits the episodes doesn't know what fucking happens in them. Get out. But like,
yes, we are low on time as old men, but
Yep.
it's also stuff is coming out and you have to pick and choose, right?
well, yeah, I think that's part of it. But like, if you also think about it, right, when it comes to like when you're young and you're either in your early working years where all you want to do is just get enough money so you can go out and buy some piss and get munted, you don't really
Such a truly Australian way of saying that too.
Yeah.
For anyone who's not Australian, they're like,
All our
what the fuck did he just
listeners
say?
We're just like,
Huh?
what the fuck was any of that? Like,
Did he just get on his kangaroo and go down and buy some
just
Vegemite?
just
Jace
put
was
subtitles
mentioning-
on that one.
what Jace
yes.
was referring to is buying alcohol and having a little bit too much.
Getting inebriated.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
No, you should definitely just not have done that part and
Yeah.
actually just
No,
put
just-
subtitles over
Cut
it.
that bit out and put in subtitles.
Yeah.
Buying piss and getting munted is way better than getting...
Yeah. But like, when you're in those days of being a youngin', you don't give a shit about your work, right? Like, you just show up to get paid.
Yeah.
Nowadays, like, I work enterprise IT. Like, I've got to keep on top of like new technologies that are coming out, all that sort of stuff. I got to train and practice and learn with that new stuff to keep on top of that.
I think
And
your responsibilities change and you actually start to care more about what you're doing, or else you wouldn't continue to do it.
And like the same for you guys. Like I know
Yeah.
Brady, you do a lot of fitness stuff. Like science behind the body changes every other fucking day.
It's genuinely like fitness is fit. Yeah, health science is disgustingly quickly changing. As anyone who has tried to follow the COVID stuff will maybe be aware, it's pretty fast changing.
And like the same goes for food. Like, you know, 2-minute noodles might only take 1:59 next week. No one knows.
Yeah, microwaves are getting way smarter than me.
Dude, my microwave sounds amazing. It sounds like a Tamagotchi when it goes off. I love it.
God.
I bought a new microwave. It's great. But yeah, so like when your work life matures, you spend a bit more on that, then you actually have like real relationships and wives or
We have
fiancés.
priorities. That's what we have.
So
Yeah,
I
and then
remember
like I've
when
got
we
to
discussed
ignore
this
them to play
episode,
video
though.
games.
Yeah.
When we discussed this episode, we were like, hey guys, last episode was a slight bit dark. We should be a bit more upbeat.
Now we're just like whining about our fucking
And
lives.
now we're just like, we're too old, we can't enjoy things.
No, I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Like I work all day with anime running on my side screen
Oh, you
just
lucky
so I
son
can
of a
keep
bitch.
up on the 835
Fuck
fucking
off.
episodes of Bleach there are.
That's insane.
And
In
then
fairness, while I was editing one of our episodes, I had Bleach on the side and I was like, I can't. I had to close it. 'cause
yeah, no, I
it's
can't
just
do that
too-
while I'm editing. But
yeah, it can't be done.
but yeah, so I run anime through the day. Then after I finish work, walk the dogs. Then's game time until bedtime. It pans out. Like I'm not starved for time, but I don't feel like I'm as free as I was when I was younger.
Yeah.
But in
100%.
saying that, I think that makes my gaming experiences better.
Yeah, I think you value the free time you have more.
I think,
And that
I don't know
is
about
perfect.
better.
That's
Hang on.
exactly that's where it, you know, your time is more valuable now. That's what I think it is. You know what I mean? Like the hours that you have, you know, you don't have expendable amounts of them. You know that you care more about your job, your life, everything else. All your priorities are more important now than they were before. So those hours that you have to spend are way more valuable. And that's where you weigh up what you're doing. So that's where I weighed up Dying Light and went, I see where this story is going. I can see these rivaling areas, factions on the map and whatever. I can see the story building up and I know exactly how it's going to fucking end. And if it doesn't end that way, cool. But I really feel like it is going to end that way. So I'm just done from the start. Like, all right, these tower things, you climb up the tower, you take the towers and whatever, and then that opens up an area for you.
And then do you see an eagle
Okay.
and you dive off into a cart of hay?
You pretty much can, yeah. And the
Leap of
really
faith,
frustrating,
yeah.
like miss the jump sort of thing and fall to your death. Did that quite a few times. And
Nice.
like inside of Dying Light 2 as well, like there's this whole thing where you are infected. So when you go into dark areas, a timer starts up. And I'm like, if I'm going to go into a dark area, which is like high reward, high risk, I want to spend my time finding the fucking reward. If I have 3.5 minutes to do that, I feel like that's not enough. And that's really frustrating me. I'm like, this is really annoying. I want more time inside of this fucking world. And I don't have it.
Shit over that, Jace.
Yeah, that's great.
Jesus.
Yep.
Imagine having three
Fantastic.
tripod legs.
That actually
Yeah,
were the
I
same
don't
length.
even Fuck.
Great.
I can't even see you guys.
Wow.
Ah,
This
Jesus.
is so good.
You're still there.
that's
So
terrifying.
just hold it for the rest.
No, I got it. So good.
Ah, very good. Very good.
I think.
Um,
Fuck.
so Brady, you were going to interject with an objection about when we were talking about the value
The
of
value of
games
your time.
and how
No, it wasn't an
I
interjection
think-
so much as just like a. Yeah.
well, like I was talking about how I see my gaming time as more thoroughly enjoyed now that it's limited.
Yeah, no, I just had a note about that. Like, I don't disagree at all. I would say that it kind of sucks though, right? And you'll probably agree with this, that when we do game, for example, we're behind the 8 ball, behind everybody else who's gaming. But at the same time, we value it so hard that it is.
Have you ever had like a
better, but also it's different. Like I remember pretending to be asleep till my parents went to bed so that I could play a game.
Yeah, I did that.
Yeah, I never had to do that. My parents didn't.
And it wasn't a good game though. Like I remember playing Beyblades on PS1.
Yikes.
And like Yu-Gi-Oh on so I'm such a fucking weeb. I play like
oh my god.
Yeah. But I remember playing those on PS1 but having to like pretend to be asleep for a while and like fake snoring, which was clearly like seeable. And then like the parent went to bed and then I would turn everything on and I was like turning the volume down and reading the subtitles and like. But I remember the value of that like was very different to now when I'm like, I turn to my partner, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna stay up and play this game, and she's like, yeah, it's fine, whatever. It's you who's gonna feel like shit. She's like, it's you who's gonna feel like shit tomorrow, and I'm like,
yeah,
you're correct. But
have you guys ever had like a just a session where you're just like, I got no responsibilities for 2 straight days. I'm just gonna smash fucking Red Bulls on this couch and just video game.
It's genuinely been a long time. I think the last time I had that was, and it's probably why I've brought it up on this show a bunch, was the Final Fantasy 15. At that time I had a lot of free time and I just explored the shit out of that game and didn't sleep to play it and a lot of other things, but it's just different. I don't know if it's, I know I value games a lot more now when I have the time to do them, but I don't know if it's just different, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I did it recently. I did like a big stint of Sea of Thieves, so like I played the shit out of it with a crew. So we were manning a big ship, good fun. No one wants to let the team down. So you got a team of 4 people, and we're on a pretty big mission, sort of adventure style thing. If any one person leaves, you can't fucking man the ship. So it's like, all right, well, we'll stay around. We'll get it done. And then the hours tick by, and it's like, all right, I start at 6. It's 12 o'clock. 6 hours sleep. Okay, I start at 6. It's 1 o'clock. 5 hours sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, I start at 6. It's fucking 3 o'clock. I have 3 hours sleep. At this point, is it even worth it? And then I'm like, okay, I don't start at 6 anymore. So but
isn't it funny, man, as those hours tick over, you get to the point where you're like,
it's too far.
It gets to the point where you're like, no, I'm fine. And then it gets to the point where you're like, oh, it's going to be shit tomorrow, but it's okay. And then it crosses a point where you're like, all right, tomorrow is totally fucked.
And it's just done.
I'm going to see this through now because going back is worse, right?
I'm
like
already
it's that
tired.
Old thing.
Yeah.
It's that old thing about turning away a half point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it crosses a point where you're like, this might not even finish.
What have I done with myself?
Fuck.
Yeah. So I had that freedom. I did that and I just went hard. And I felt so bad about the amount of time I wasted on something that was completely pointless. I was like, fuck, could have done so much more with that time.
This is kind of why I avoid games with like raid like mechanics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
no,
I got into like
man.
Destiny 2 for a bit. But the moment I unlocked raids and shit.
Fucking hell.
This is great.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, as soon as you unlock the raids in that game, it gets serious, and everyone's like, "Oh, you got to be on at like 5:32, right?"
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, no,
because 5:34, we're going to be doing the buffs before we do the raid, right? Like,
yeah.
I did WoW for a bit, way back in its heyday when it was actually like kind of fun and not shit. And it was exactly the same. You got to a certain stage in it, and it was like everyone was all about raids. So it was either you were heavy into PvP, or you just had to be all about raids. And by that point, it was just jacked. So it's no fun having a schedule. It's like going to work.
So this is why I play 100%. Games like. So I've been playing a lot of single player games lately, but this is why Overwatch is my jam. An Overwatch game goes for maybe 30 minutes. And we can play like 10, 15 games a night. Fucking awesome. Go for it.
Yeah.
But But then you get into these games where it's like multiplayer based RPGs and stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, well, now whatever we're doing, we've got to do for the next 6 hours. Like, I don't have big time commitment. Like, I don't want to have those big time commitments.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
You don't want that.
but like, even if I did have the free time, I just wouldn't want to do that. Like, not unless there's some big reward, like a big golden hand job at the end of it. I'm not interested.
Sounds like something that Borderlands would definitely throw out there.
Speaking of like time commitments.
Speaking
and
of
just
hand
to, like-
jobs.
No, I deliberately avoided that, but that's fine. Creepy D&D guy. Let's. I wanted to steal the show and go back to the anime side. It's hard because you can't skip quickly,
The camera moves.
right? Like,
Yeah, I've seen that. I'm just waiting for it to fall.
Anyway, so
Did it?
Yeah, keep talking for the next
you-
30 seconds until it goes.
I'm gonna hold on to it just in case. But like, you can't do much about that with anime. Like, you're stuck for your episode, right?
Mm.
So, I've told in the past that I have an episode rule about how long I'll let it go to where I'm like, nope. Have you, Jace? You've been watching it longer, but Justin, you're getting quite deep in the anime world now. Have you developed your own level of rule? Hopefully, you're not influenced by us. But do you have an episode rule or a time rule or like a I'm gonna let this go because our friends said it was good for me? Like, because I know with Food Wars, you were like, I said it in like episode 2. I was like, no. Food Wars, yes, there will be elements, but he'll fucking skip it because it's too anime and there's too much stuff. But it's too anime. It just is.
I have actually been thinking, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe I should try that again. Did I-
Yeah,
I think it was
honestly-
good.
though.
Was it good? I don't know.
Maybe look for other alternatives because
Yeah.
it's a whole fucking genre. It's
Oh
not just
yeah,
Yeah,
no, there's
yeah.
heaps more than Food Wars. Food Wars is
Yeah.
the most popular, but there are heaps of them.
I see its appeal and I like the food related stuff in there. So I might actually jump back on it. So no, I don't have much limits as far as that's concerned. I think I've pretty much watched everything I've watched. I've almost watched it through or I'm intending on watching it through. So Bleach, I will intend
Yeah.
on watching through. However, I am going to skip all the bullshit arcs because I don't
Good.
have
No,
no
good,
time for that
Good,
shit.
because I said this to Jace,
Yeah.
and he said to
We've
me,
we've
he's like,
literally
"No,
talked
no,
about
no,
this probably 7 times out of fucking like
Yeah.
15 episodes. But yeah,
That's fine.
it's the arcs are just shit, completely unrelated, and I'm not like intending to put my time into that. That's
Yeah,
just
good.
not something I'm interested in doing.
It's
Tokyo
just
Ghoul
so
Season
fucking
3?
weird.
No.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, the whole Demon Slayer movie / conversion to season 2, part 2
Yes,
of season
just
2.
just watch
the
the season.
No, I will just watch the
Just
season.
watch the season.
Things like that. So things that I know are just a complete and very clear waste of my life. I am definitely not going to do, and I'm just going to judge that off the back
So
of you
you're
guys.
out of the podcast.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And episode end.
Cut.
I love that
End
Justin's in a
credits.
sweater again, by the way. Wait, I saw that comment this week, and it's like bottom guy, which I lost my shit at because he tried to avoid saying bottom guy. He's like, he's not wearing a sweater this week. I was like, fuck. I can't believe how much people. The reason that
They
people
put shit
pay
on me
attention
wearing
that
my
much,
sweater.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
YouTube's a wild
it's
place, man.
100% why I put so much effort into doing background and all of this stuff and cameras that fall over is because people pay attention to random shit in our episodes. Hey, people have noticed that Justin, apparently, in most episodes, you wear a sweater.
It's either
Well,
that or
I'm
the Run
outside,
D&D
like
shirt.
I'm in my nerd shack, which is outside of my house, not exactly the most insulated of buildings. So yes, I'm wearing a fucking sweater because what? What do you want me to wear? Y'all just tell
Tube
me
top.
what you want me to wear, and I'll see how I go about it. Yeah, tube top in the winter. Yeah.
Tube top. Tube
It's
top.
not weird. It's literally still summer.
Hey, it's the lead up to winter. Like it's like 2 days away
It's
from
not.
winter. I
It's
swear
not
to
even
God.
autumn yet,
Bro.
and there's a tea in winter.
Wow. So this is that moment where I finally get shit on a whole lot.
I
Wearing
reckon
fucking
we're
sweaters.
nearing the end. Do you guys have quick takes of anything you've got up to this week?
Quick take. You guys suck balls. Dying Light 2, not quite for me, but could be for other people. But coming off the back of playing Far Cry 6 and climbing a lot of buildings, nah. I don't like having to worry about turning into a zombie in every 3 minutes when I step into a darkened corridor.
That actually sounds like Far Cry 2 with the malaria thing.
Yeah, exactly that. And that was infuriating.
Yeah,
sometimes
that's why
you're in the middle of fucking
Far Cry
nowhere
2.
and it's like, cool. And then Elden Ring, I've only just picked it up. I've probably put about 7 hours already into that, and it's already looking more promising. So yes, very Demon Souls, Dark Souls-y in that feel, but beautiful environments, open world, so you can choose to just not fight that boss and come back when you're better equipped, which is handy. Unless, of course, you walk into the room, you get locked inside of the room with it, and then you fight it, you die, and then you leave a bunch of money in there, which you then need to go back and get.
I'm cool with that, though. I like consequences for games.
I actually do, and it was painful, but I did it. And when I killed that boss after an hour, it was like, yay! And my wife was like, "You're an aggressive prick." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Fuck you."
I respect it, but I'm not.
I just want to state for the record, by the way, Justin's wife is incredibly lovely and very tolerant of our bullshit.
She's very tolerant of our bullshit, but she'll also call us out on it too and tell us we're nerds
100%.
to our faces. So
she said we were nerds so many times.
I know, right?
Fucking funny. In one of our last D&D shoots, we were like, "Hey, can you take a photo?" She's like, "What do you nerds fucking want now?" And I was like, "Yes."
Sounds like she's wearing thongs, a fucking wife beater, and carrying a pack of durries and
she had a baby under one arm and Winnie Blues in the other.
Wasn't she?
Wow.
That's my image.
She's going to knock you boys out as soon as she hears this. I mean, she's not going to watch it. She's not going to watch it, but someone else will tell her to watch it. Someone else will be like, "Did you hear what they were saying?" And then she's going to be like, "Next time you guys come, you're fucked."
Nice. Final Fantasy VI Pixel Remaster. I've just been playing the shit out of that. It is brilliant. I didn't know what Pixel Remaster was because that is a really awful name and it is really confusing because it is very clearly just the 2D game like it was. But what they've done is instead of when it came out with a PC release, it upscaled, but it made all the pixels all smudgy and all the faces went weird. They've remade the game from the ground up using the original pixel art. So it's remade and all the music is redone with full orchestra type shit. It's fucking
cool.
So it's it's
remade to be
Final Fantasy VI?
No, so it's still all 2D but with pixel art.
So it's like Terraria.
So it is in a full 2560 by 1440 or whatever res you want to run that fucking game at. But it is still the pixel art sprites. And they're just crisp as. And then in all the weird, because I know you haven't played it, Justin, but maybe Brady played 6. But there were weird, pseudo 3D bits where, because it was Super Nintendo, you can't really render proper 3D. But it tried to do it by making flat objects look curved. They've redone that on real 3D planes. So it actually almost looks cooler, but it's still the terrible pixel art. Fucking cool as shit. And yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. And if you enjoyed Final Fantasy VI, go back, pick this up. This is the only version you need to play.
Nice.
It's fucking
They've
good.
also it's available on Steam. It's fucking Apple Play Store and Google Play Store and Amazon. So
damn.
Yeah,
Most
I can play
things.
it literally on my Mac, and if I'm gauging right, because this website it's the Final Fantasy site, and it's Final Fantasy 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think, as anyone who's a logical human being will imagine, they're going to do 7, which means it's going to be a huge influx of human beings very soon. So that's kind of cool.
Cool.
So, it is on consoles. I swear it should be on PlayStation and shit too. No,
Oh, it
it's not.
probably is. It just
Weird.
says available now on Steam and all those things. That's cool. I'm about that.
But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I just went to a white web page, as you can clearly tell, because I
Yep.
became the moon.
yeah, you took over Justin's thing.
The moon is gone.
Yeah. So this week, as we said in this topic, we're low on time because we just don't have it. Jesus, Jace, you are
Priorities.
Yeah. Trying to see what platforms it's
light.
on.
I tried to hack into a incredibly popular anime called Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Jace,
I haven't watched it.
Justin?
No, I haven't. I've heard of it. I have heard of it.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to give it a few more episodes. I'm 3 in, which is usually my rule. But
You've broke it in the past, though, so we'll see.
The thing is, if you reach 3 episodes and you haven't come to a distinct "this is dog shit" or "this is amazing,"
Yeah, exactly right. You've obviously got to give it some more time, right?
Yeah, sometimes. So
Yeah.
like me with JoJo, like I've given it a bit more, and it's gotten better as I go on.
JoJo was the same. I was like, nah. And the whole season 1, I was like, nope. But it's just so popular. I was like, there's got to be a reason.
Yeah. And I hate to be
And
that guy, but
now
it
when
makes
I
sense.
put on an episode, I enjoy it. I laugh. But I will say, JoJo still for me. I'm in season 3-ish. It's, but I still don't just like drive home willing to watch it. You know,
Yeah,
like,
no,
there's some things.
I put it down and pick it
Yeah.
up as I've, like, you know, if I want to work out with the bros and like get sweaty and
Yeah.
then I'll put on some
100%.
JoJo.
JoJo is exactly that. But Jujutsu Kaisen is it's put up on the tier list of the current animes next to Demon Slayer. But
Right.
after 3 episodes, I'm like, eh.
Mm.
I'll give you guys future reviews, but I think what sunk it for me is midway through Ep 2. They
all the
mentioned the
spoilers.
main character. What the fuck was that?
Called you out for spoiling Ep 2.
Yeah. No, midway through Ep 2, they mentioned the main character was going to have to go to a school. And my heart just was like, I'm so done with school-style animes that But I'm going to watch it just to find out why it's so popular.
Yeah.
Cameron's no longer interested. Cameron's like, I'm
Cameron's
sick
just
of
like,
this shit,
I'm
I'm out.
fucking done. And with that, so are we.
Yeah.
What?
Cheers.
Yeah. Catch you guys later.